What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OG coming to you live from Site B on a lovely Monday morning, about 9 o'clock in the morning, here on the 6th day of March 2023. It looks to be about 64 degrees and sunny, but it did rain last night, so who knows? Meanwhile, it's Monday in most corners of the world, which means it's time to take a look at all the tabletop role-playing game news that, why am I talking like this, might affect our week. What stories are we going to set our compass by? What controversy are we going to be rattling our chains about? What insults are going to be tossed at me or my friends or the gaming industry in general as we continue on our path towards 2024 and D&D 6th edition, or whatever it is they're calling it now, and the future of the hobby. Speaking of future of the hobby, hey, Pezo, we'd love to see some progress on ORC. And hey, Cobalt, we'd love to see some progress on Project Black Flag. Same for all the other people who said they were going to make the game. I mean, I hate to give the 5 remaining people who are still pro 5e out there any credit, but yeah, we do have to speak up or shut up. And speaking of speaking up and shut up, let's get right to Kelsey and Shadow Dark RPG and all the amazing free press she is getting for Shadow Dark RPG. Will Shadow Dark RPG be the game that bridges the gap between the OSR/OGL and 5e? Will it be the new game to topple D&D from the top of its pyramid, or will it just be another game that we forget about a year from now because it's just like every other niche OGL game that we've seen, like Into the Odd and Mork Borg and whatever, and all the complaints and controversy and okay. And I did a video about that last week, all the stuff people were talking about her and why I chose to back her. And since then I've been referred to as I'm standing for her. I'm white knighting her. I'm homophobic because I didn't mention the fact that she was LGBTQT, or I'm homophobic because I tried to make a point out of it. So yes, I came to the defense of my friend, and of course, as expected, I got a lot of smack about it. And there's a lot of new reviews that are coming out of this. Everybody's reviewing the quick start. I am saving my review till I see the finished product. I backed it. I backed the PDF because I couldn't afford the physical copy. And, as much as I appreciate and respect her, I got to honestly say also to myself, when am I ever going to use this? And I'm not in a point to buy another physical copy of a game if I don't think I'm ever going to use it. I already made that mistake with Into the Odd, as you know. I heard so many great things about Into the Odd, and I picked up Into the Odd for $20 plus tax. I got it, and within 5 minutes, I was like, this game is awful. Why does it get so much good press? Hank did a much better job doing the same thing with ICRPG. So, yeah, love you, respect you, appreciate you, Kelsey, but I'm not going to buy the physical product until I see the PDF. And honestly, if the PDF sucks as much as some people are saying it's going to suck, I'm going to say that. But I also said I was going to support it when she first announced it over a year ago, because I've been picking up her stuff and supporting her stuff for like 5 years now. So, yeah. So that is the latest controversy regarding Shadow Dark. Apparently she paid for all her reviews. She's a hypocrite because she talks about her own stuff and on the same page that is reviewing her stuff. How dare she, my favorite still, how dare she use black and white art? That was probably my favorite of all the things people talked about her. So yeah, apparently I'm white knighting her and I'm standing her and I have the hots for her because I defended my friend. Yeah, free press. Continue to throw your slings and arrows at me of insults. And speaking of insults, yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves is getting closer and closer and closer to coming out. Scheduled to be released March 31st / April 1st, which if you're going to release a movie into theaters, April 1st is probably the worst day you could possibly choose to release a movie because people are going to do stupid shit in the theater because it's April Fool's. So couldn't you have released it March 29th or April 2nd? Why? I mean, yeah, it is a Friday. And I guess you want a movie out for a 3-day weekend, and it's technically maybe the first big weekend of spring, but April Fools? Jeez. So, yeah, we know that article came out where the directors were like, we go out of our way to make our male characters look completely stupid. We emasculate them. We don't provide them with anything that makes you want to think that they're heroes. But meanwhile, we build up and Mary Sue all the female characters, Michelle Rodriguez and stuff like that. And they wrote this big article, and there's interviews and all about, yeah, I love playing an idiot. Oh, yeah, we emasculate our men. And I did a post about it. And oh, boy, the Twitter universe completely agreed with me. The YouTube universe completely agreed with me. But the Facebook universe, most of whom, of course, don't know the first thing about D&D or filmmaking. So I'm going to just because those guys went after me like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. How dare you review a movie that isn't out? Dude, I mean, all bards are like that. Then, of course, my point was, one, nobody wants to see a hero that is intentionally stupid and intentionally an idiot and intentionally emasculated and intentionally the worst character on the screen. If it happens, we want it to happen naturally. If we go into a movie with no expectations and the character does funny things, if we laugh, the laugh should be organic. If you go out of your way to tell us ahead of time, that's literally like telling somebody who's never seen Hamlet or read the play, oh yeah, he dies at the end. Sorry, did I ruin it for you? By the way, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Oh, let me keep going. Vader is Luke's father. What? Oh, yeah. It was all that season of Dallas, all a dream. Saint Elsewhere, all a dream. They just you don't tell people like this. That's the whole reason why we have, no spoilers. You've literally spoiled the fact that this character is intentionally being an idiot because we think you will think it's funny, and we hate male characters. We want to make our women Mary Sues, and we want our men to look weak because that's what the audience expects. No, the audience expects to be entertained and surprised. So if you tell us how the trick works going in, we're not going to laugh. Well, and I was not the only person who called them out on that, because there are several hundred others, including other articles. Well, now those guys are like, oh no, it was a joke. You didn't really read the article. What we're trying to say is, our characters are flawed. And it's like, again, dude, we know that. We've seen the trailer. We understand that in order for the D&D idea to work, the characters kind of have to just sort of be a mishmash of kind of a mess. We get you're trying to make Guardians of the Galaxy. We get you're trying to make Vox Machina. Don't tell us. Guardians of the Galaxy worked because even the Marvel fans didn't know what to expect. So the only way Honor Amongst Thieves works is if we don't know what to expect. So speaking of Honor Amongst Thieves, there's an Honor Amongst Thieves book out. Did you know that? Yes, there's an Honor Amongst Thieves prequel book out that tells you everything you need to know about the characters before the movie starts. Their initial adventures together, how they meet, Chris Pine's character and why he's an idiot, the other 4 characters. Maybe they even explain how the tiefling druid can wild shape into an owlbear. I don't know. If we need a book to explain to us how the characters met and who they are, again, you're kind of doing the movie should explain that. Now you could say, well, Vox Machina didn't tell us who any of these people are. We just instantly, bam, here they are. But Vox Machina was a series, and we knew going in that we would get explanations throughout the series who each and every character was before they met. And so far we have gotten that. We have found out who Percy is. We found out who Grog is. We found out a little bit about Scanlan. We found out about the twins. We found out a little bit about Keyleth. The storytelling in the Vox Machina animated cartoon, at least the first season, I haven't watched the second one yet, tells you who the characters are throughout the thing. In a movie, if you introduce a character, I kind of want to know who they are. Who is Luke? What do we know about Luke when we first meet him? What do we know about Bilbo when we first meet him? And then we see Luke and Bilbo change and grow throughout the movie. And we see, Star-Lord change and grow throughout the movie. And we get bits and pieces of each character's origin throughout Guardians of the Galaxy. If I have to read a book ahead of time, again, But anyways, the book is out, and apparently, according to the reviews, it's okay. It does its job. Moving on, we have a ton of news from Pathfinder, Starfinder, Paizo. Hey, Paizo. What's going on with the ORC? Because it's March, and we haven't heard anything since January 12th. And don't tell me it's on the Discord, because I've been on the Discord. It's not on the Discord. All right. So Pathfinder, Paizo, Starfinder's releasing Starfinder Enhanced. This is, where they just basically take everything that they've written, changed, updated since Starfinder came out, put it all together and release it in a book scheduled for October, which I don't know why we're talking about it now in March, but this will be come out in October, and it'll have all the updates of everything that has changed, everything that has been introduced since Starfinder was originally made. So this is a great way to get caught up if you play Starfinder, and it's like $40, and it's like, what? How long has Starfinder been around? 6 years, 8 years? I don't know. 7 years worth of updates and changes all in one book. Literally, probably what Wizards of the Coast should be doing in next year. Is just, here's everything that has changed and been updated since we released Tasha's, because Tasha's was the first let's change, update things. And so now here's a new change, update thing. But no, we're releasing a new edition, even if we say we're not. So that's a thing. And then we also have this coming out. We have the Tinzi World Guide, which is their mythological Asia adjacent setting in the world of Pathfinder. Apparently, they've never explored it, which was probably a smart thing, because we knew let's face it, they're going to get attacked if you explore anything even vaguely Oriental in your role-playing games now. So this part of the world of Glorian, the Pathfinder world, has been mentioned, but it's never really been explored. So now they are finally releasing 2 books to explore this setting. Will they get pooped on for making an Asian adjacent campaign setting? Of course they will. Now we also have the fact that Paizo has come out and said what their stance on the AI product is. And as of today, Paizo is saying only humans can contribute work to Paizo product. We don't want to see any artificial intelligence written adventures, and we don't want to see any artificial intelligence art. We only want human creators. We don't want to, Now, there's a lot of arguments for this. There's a lot of arguments against this. Will Paizo change their mind in a couple of months because the artificial intelligence stuff is just so prevalent? How can you tell the difference between an artificial intelligence written adventure and a normal human written adventure? I've played with Chat GPT or whatever it's called, and it's okay. I mean, it's all about the prompts. You gotta give it the right prompts to get the response you want. Otherwise, it's just going to give you the most basic response to whatever you entered. Same with AI art. I can't speak for anybody else and their success or failures with AI art, but based upon my goofing around with AI art for the past year and a half, I don't think you have anything to worry about. Paizo. I don't think any real artist out there is like, oh my God, this computer is going to take my job away. Because I have done AI art almost every day for a year and a half on multiple AI art sites. And I can tell you that between what I'm picturing in my mind and what actually comes out is usually nowhere close. And if I look what I made on AI art, usually after an hour of trying to get it even remotely next to what I want and what some real artist has done, somebody who can actually make art, I'm like, wow, geez. You have nothing to worry about, Kempo Cornelius, because this art that the AI is making, yeah, no. So, but I understand why Pathfinder, Paizo, Starfinder is saying this. They want to continue to support the original stuff. At some point in time, will it become impossible to tell the difference? Maybe. I don't think in my lifetime, but maybe. Will Paizo change their mind? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. That's a story. The interesting thing about that were the individuals who felt bad for the AIs. Oh, my friend is not going to get any recognition for doing art anymore. How dare you, Paizo, not let the computers do art? You're going to hurt their feelings. My friend the Warforged, and that, and anybody who posted that need to understand that AIs don't have feelings. They don't care what you think about them. They're just going to do the project that they were told to do to the best of their capabilities based upon their programming. They're not real. Warforged, not real. C-3PO, not real. Data from Star Trek, not real. HAL from 2001, 2010, not real. The Roomba at my parents' house, well, that's real, but I don't worry about it taking over the world because it can't even clean the floor. So, yeah, people who felt bad for the AIs, I don't know if you're trolls and you're just trying to get attention, or if you really think that they're hurting the AI's feelings by not allowing the AIs to do art. I assure you the AI doesn't care. And as for C-3PO's feelings being hurt, C-3PO is not a real... Why does this person have a chainsaw, Pathfinder? C-3PO is not real. Moving on to tie in with the upcoming Honor Amongst Thieves movie, we've got Honor Amongst Thieves action figures, Honor Amongst Thieves toys, Honor Amongst Thieves figures, Honor Amongst Thieves book covers, Honor Amongst Thieves calendars, anything and everything that Hasbro can merchandise for Honor Amongst Thieves. They are merchandising because Hasbro knows that they need to monetize D&D, and the merchandising is the real money. Because no matter how much money they're going to make off the movie, they will make twice as much off the toys. So we've already looked at the figures that were coming out for the movie, and they were all figures we'd seen before. Basically, they've just repackaged stuff they already made. Here's the first of the action figures. It looks like something from the He-Man line, and yeah. I mean, I guess it definitely looks like an owl. A bipedal humanoid owl. Looks like something you'd see from, He-Man or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The paint's okay. I don't like the fact you can see the articulation. The expression is kind of derpy, but I guess that's to make it cute and approachable. Is this something I'd want to see on my shelf? Probably not. We also have figures for each of the individual characters. Hasbro is usually 50-50 on human characters or humanoid characters. The stuff from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection looks amazing. The stuff from the G.I. Joe Lightning Collection looks amazing. But then they've got other figures that look like Saturday morning breakfast cereal stuff. So this... I know. I mean, I don't know if I'd buy it, but I can see that there's probably somebody going to buy it. I mean, I guess it's a cool toy. They're probably better. I mean, it just looks like something I'd see from He-Man or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It doesn't really scream owl bear to me. Just like creepy owl man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being overly opinionated. How much do you want to charge for this? $25, and it comes with a dice. A little cheaper, I'd see. This doesn't feel like a $25 figure when you compare it to Lightning Collection. So, whatever. Somebody will buy it. It brings joy to somebody. Who cares? At least it's not repackaging something that they already made, though. I mean, it's Hasbro, so there probably is a sculpt that they're just reusing, like most toy companies do. Hey, remember the Lone Wolf series? Well, they're reducing them. It was one of the choose your own adventure or fighting fantasy novels where you made decisions for the character as you advanced the story. There's also a short-lived Lone Wolf RPG based upon the IP. Well, they are being re-released. So it looks like at least most of the ones that were made, including additional materials and maps and expansions, will be released sometime between now and 2004. The entire series will be reprinted eventually. And it'll be every of the Lone Wolf choose your own adventure books, which means you can go through them multiple times. Fun stuff. And I don't know why this is on news, but we have the Subversion tabletop role-playing game from Fragging Unicorn. Why isn't this in the PDF set news or the Kickstarter news? But yes, we got Cyberpunk Fantasy RPG from Subversion. from Fragging Unicorn. Now, we've talked about this before, that, you know, this guy has made like 2 or 3 different games that are basically Shadowrun. So this, I mean, one of them is even just a direct copy of Shadowrun with a different name. So now we've got this one coming out. It's a fantasy cyberpunk role-playing game in 2023. So what, 12 years, 15 years after Shadowrun came out and GURPS Cyberpunk came out and Everon came out and all the other cyberpunk fantasy RPGs that came out in the 90s. Yeah, I mean, Shadowrun is the first. Shadowrun is maybe the best. I mean, it's already out there. Should you support this? You know, 2022 was sort of the year of cyberpunk. 2023, I mean, how long can you milk the cyberpunk genre when we've already passed the future that cyberpunk predicted, it to the point where cyberpunk is now kind of retro nostalgia? Because, yeah, we still don't have flying cars, and there still aren't giant glass pyramids in the center of Los Angeles spouting out flame. But, you know, most of the other stuff we have in some form. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of cyberpunk. I like the idea of, you know, techno fantasy or whatever you want to call it, sci fantasy, gonzo sci fantasy. Shadowrun never really worked for me, but other games that did the same thing kind of did. Also, the combat system in OG Shadowrun was just talk about a grind. So I don't know. Is this something you want to buy? It was funded in 4 hours and 32 minutes, just like Shadow Dark. Speaking of things that start with the word shadow. So yeah, that's all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, and general internet nonsense for Monday. So what are the stories that are going to direct us? This is going to be a story, and probably more. The Shadow Dark thing is probably still going to go on. I just saw somebody else posted a review of the quick start. It's like, wait till the real thing, dude. Wait till you see the real thing. So I guess Shadow Dark's still going to be a thing. Honor Amongst Thieves is going to be a thing. And Paizo and Artificial Intelligence is going to be a thing. It's Cat Monroe, superhero. Cat Monroe says she, he, it, they totally agree with me on AI art. Yes. If you're a real artist like my friend Campo Cornelius or my friend Andrew or my friend Jeremy, at this point in time, I don't think you have to worry about AI art. I have done AI art. You've seen my AI art. It's nowhere close. You know, literally getting to the point where maybe I should just draw my art. I mean, it's not going to be any worse. I mean, my drawing is usually awful, but I mean, Tyrannosaurus Rex on roller skates. How hard could that have been, AI art? But it took me an hour of entering the prompts in certain ways to get you to print out something that vaguely looked like a Tyrannosaurus Rex on roller skates. So, yeah, I'm not worried about AI art yet, but I understand why Paizo is making the choice. That's it for all the news today. Please like, please share, please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, help me hit 1,500 subs by the end of the month. And speaking of the end of the month, you know what's coming out of the end of the month is, of course, Honor Amongst Thieves. It's coming out the 31st, which is a horrible day to release a movie because April Fools. So you could spend a whole bunch of money to go see that movie, or you could join me, the OGGM, at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time on the 31st to watch the single greatest D&D movie ever made. Join me for a watch party Friday, March 31st, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time for Hawk the Mother Slayer. Yes, one of my all-time favorite bad fantasy movies. The movie that I refer to as if you want to see 5th edition in a movie, Hawk the Slayer. So join me. And I assure you, I'm going to charge you a lot less because technically it's free, though I will appreciate donations because I'm not going to monetize it. So join me for a watch party of the single greatest Dungeons & Dragons movie ever made, of all the great Dungeons & Dragons movies that came out in the 80s and 90s, Hawk the Slayer. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Please check out my merch over at Big Geek Emporium. Please have a great day. I will talk to you later. Oh, it's DM Kurt. Peso comes out against the Twittertari rage against artificial intelligence. Yes, Peso does like to jump on the whatever is latest complaint from the Twitter universe. They did the, we're going to change races thing. They've done all the other things. You know what they haven't done? You haven't done, Peso. All the energy it took you to tell us you weren't going to accept AI art and AI created product anymore, which I guess nobody really cared about. Could have been energy that you invested in, I don't know, giving us some news about ORC, because I hate to give that, population ammo, but we haven't seen an update on ORC since January 12th. And I am an asshole enough to say, hey, put up or shut up. Because look, you know who did? Kelsey from Arcane Library. Hell, I've produced more stuff in January than you have, Peso, that is not OGL 5e compatible. Speaking of my stuff, head on over to Big Geek Emporium. Link down below. Pick up my stuff. Support the OGGM. I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Stay safe. Get off my land.